timid. There'll be stars in your ears.
Oh, the shark has pretty teeth, dear, and he shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife has old Mac Heath, babe, and he keeps it out of sight. You know when that shark...
Welcome back, everybody. It is the PM Show with Mr. Robert Conrad, taking your calls, reading your emails, and just having a really good time in here today. In studio, Allison Lee, daughter of Nick Adams, and we're going to be talking about her book here shortly. Mr. Robert Conrad. Now, I'm very excited that you brought another guest in this. This is the second week in a row you brought a guest.
Is she being photographed?
She is being photographed.
Allison?
Live.
Okay, good. But I mean, right now she asked me about this. Allison, you're going into a, what do we call that, where they go, Eric? And they can watch her and they can see.
Oh yeah, the chat room.
It's called it's called the chat room.
The CRN interactive chat room, we call it here.
And they are our listeners and our viewers.
Yep.
And you can say hello to them by going, "Hello, chat room. How are you today?
Hey.
I'm just a kiss, kiss, kiss." Oops, there's guys in there. Way. Hey guys, I was kidding. I'm not that way. Allison, do you want to say something to them?
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Oh.
Allison's a real sweetie. She was not aware, Bob, that she was on camera this whole time.
I know. I had to tell her. I saw her during the break, and she was like this going, no, you can't, Allison. That doesn't work. You can't.
Allison, you were fine.
Yeah, you were fine. Don't worry about it. All right, so here we go. It says, what's your favorite character did you play in your career? My English is so bad. Sorry, I'm French, but I love you. My favorite role in my entire career was Pasquinel in Centennial.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that role. And another actor was offered it, and unfortunately he was having some domestic problems and turned it down. And now he's being seen on CRN every 15 minutes, and I got a call at 20 minutes to 12 last night from my son saying, Dad, quick. Robert Blake's on. You gotta watch Robert Blake. I said, I'm not going to watch an actor at 12 o'clock.
You kind of took a nod there.
Yeah, I took a nod. Now, why are we talking about Nick Adams, who unfortunately passed away when he was, let's see, how old was he?
36.
36.
Oh, my gosh.
He was a baby in 68, yeah. And he had just gotten back from Mexico, yeah. But in any event, the way this book happened to be written, and I have read it, and I don't spend that much time. I read it in 2 days. Allison, tell us before we go to the people who've been waiting patiently and the emails, tell us briefly how you decided to write this book. And it's marvelous. It gets a 100 recommendation from me to you. And I wouldn't say that to my friends. You know that. I would never ask you to read anything if I didn't approve of it. This is something I approve of. And this is something I knew about. This is 1956. I came to Hollywood in 57. And I had met Nick in 56 in Fairmont, Indiana, at the James Dean funeral. It wasn't the funeral. He had already been buried. It was at his gravesite in Fairmont. Anyway, so how did you decide to do this, woman?
Well, I was living in Montana, and I had my daddy box, which is a banker's box that was full of all of my father's memorabilia that I'd been carrying around the country for about 40 years. And I finally opened the box. And when I opened it, I found this typewritten manuscript that my father had written about Elvis Presley that I had no idea was in there. And the minute I started reading it and found it, I started to cry because I'd always wanted to find something that my father had written. And all of his writing, journals, things disappeared the night he died. So I never had anything of his. And so when I found this manuscript, I could hear him. I could hear his voice reading it. And the minute I started reading it, I knew I would share it with the world.
Well, that's an amazing story. I'm already moved by the fact that you had this box for so long. And was there something kind of holding you back from opening this box? I mean, in really getting in there earlier?
Yeah, she didn't know it was in it.
Oh, you kind of uncovered it then at that point.
Well, I wasn't ready to kind of deal with my dad's story, too.
Yeah.
He passed away when I was very young, and there was a lot of drama. And so it just took me a while to get there.
Yeah, I'm sure. And
Well, anyway, she's gotten there, and you can purchase this in a variety of ways. We'll tell you about that.
and the book is The
little later.
Rebel and the King.
Yeah, well, she's going to be with us for the whole 2 hours, so we'll tell you how you can get the book from Allison Lee, who was born in 19.
You better watch it, Bob. You're cutting it pretty close here.
I know, but I've known her since she was a kid, so I'm not worried about her. Okay, and I after Elvis passed away, I became Nick's best friend.
Did you see that, Bob? Line number 3. I want to point out line number 3 before we go to break here.
Yes.
Uh-oh. We'll have to get to Mary in a little bit when we come
Yeah,
back.
but get to Christophe, too.
Absolutely. When we come back.